Hello again. I've got a lot to say and it's going to be tricky to keep this brief, but I'll do my best if I speak too fast if you're trying to keep up. And if I trip over my words, well, if you see my eyes wander to the screen, it's because I've written down a few things that I don't want to forget. So, here we go. Some people somehow completely missed the point of my last video. It's a shame, maybe I was too subtle when I explained exactly what I was doing. It's like this. You've seen those other videos on here, two types. The ones who post deliberately controversial crap just to get people all riled up, like for example those real Steve Irwin's video death videos that spread like cancer a little while back. The ones I myself condemned and ranted against. Part of the irony there, people, pay attention. And also those people who put a brief shot of a half-naked chick or something right smack bang in the middle of the video, so that becomes the thumbnail screenshot for their video, fooling people into thinking if they're going to click on the video they're going to see some soft-core porn of some hot chick and things like that. And that's often accompanied by a misleading title as well. And all this is done just to get people's attention, get views. See, I wanted to play with the idea and poke fun at the ridiculousness of all of it. Shit, if you care that much about how many views your videos get, why not try being entertaining and original? So anyway, I intended to toy with the concept of duping people into views with nothing more than a provocative title for the video. But I wanted to present it in a different way also. This is why the video is how it is. If you don't get that, that's okay. It's probably the Aussie sense of humour. It tends to be a little bit different to the American sense of humour. And I use this as an example because most of the people have sent me messages and comments and kicked up a stink about and completely missed the point from the US, which is no big surprise because the number of US citizens on YouTube far outnumber everyone else from the whole entire world anyway, and by and large a lot of the US is rather conservative as well, so wasn't surprised about that at all. Also wasn't surprised at all that the video got flagged within hours of it going up. I found that pretty amusing actually. I predicted that if you read the little comment section. Now to clear up the two big criticisms, or I should specify the two big reasonable criticisms, because I got a lot of criticism, not all of which was reasonable or well thought out. The two big reasonable criticisms I got. Number one, using the term fag in the video. Now yeah, you people are right. In the wrong context, the word fag can be pretty damn offensive, but if you look at the context of the video, I'm actually in support of homosexual acceptance. I'm not using the word in an aggressive or derogatory way. The reason I picked that word to use is because it is simply more provocative. Again, kids, that was the aim of the video. Pay attention, keep up. It's more provocative than gay, or homo, or pillow biter, or fudge packer, or queer, fairy, or fruit. You're getting my drift. Let's take an example of a less provocative word like queer. Gay blokes use it all the damn time, and they even have a chant. We hear, we're queer, get used to it. They embrace the word. But if some mouth-breathing throwback shouts it at a couple of guys who are holding a hand across the road from him, he's intending to use it as an insult. It's all about the context. It's the same damn word. Same thing with the word fag. I've heard fags use the word fag and be happy in their fagginess, but in another context it's often used as an attempt as an insult. It's all in the context. And anyone who watched the freaking video would be able to understand the context in which I used it was not derogatory. Duh! The second thing, I got some well-written and sensible messages from Christians, among the other messages I got from Christians who were more of the classic type of Christians I expected to get responses from. The ranting, Bible passage quoting, drooling twits who are simply regurgitating what they've been taught instead of actually giving anything any critical thought on their own bat. Anyway, the well-written ones were basically saying to me, well, Blunty, I don't know if you're aware of this, but the people who believe Jesus was the Saviour and Son of God, all that, also believe he was completely free of sin. He was completely without sin. And, of course, he lived according to the Jewish law, which states that homosexuality was a sin, and therefore he wasn't a homo. If he was gay, his divinity would be in question, and he'd be unfit for sacrifice and unsuitable for providing salvation. Okay. That seems like a pretty reasonable argument to me. That's sensible enough. But the problem is this. The type of passages people often quote from the Bible to prove to others that homosexuality is a sin, they're often, like most Bible passages, able to be interpreted in many different ways. And it's even easier to interpret these things if you do it out of context with what the rest of the Bible is trying to say to you. Not to mention the number of times that things been translated and a whole lot of stuff could have been confused and inferred by the bias of the translator at the time. But that's neither here nor there. That's another debate for another time. The clearest condemnation of homosexuality I've heard from the Bible is the passage that reads something like this: "Do not lie with another man as you would a woman. It is an abomination before the eyes of the Lord." That's Leviticus 18:22. I just looked it up. Now keep in mind, these are from the Old Testament. These are the laws that God gave Moses long before Jesus came along, and God went from being an angry and vengeful, killing the firstborn of every Egyptian child kind of guy, to the, love thy neighbour, Ned Flanderish type. But even that passage seems to specify sexual action, sexual intercourse, lying with a man as you would a woman. So this could suggest Jesus could have still been gay, but if he was still a virgin, he'd still be without sin because he hadn't engaged in the act of homosexual sex, which that passage seems to condemn. See? If he hadn't laid with another man as he would a woman, he's effectively still without sin, even though he could have been gay. I'm not saying he was gay. I don't know. I don't care. I explained this much in my other video. It doesn't matter at all. If you really care if Jesus was gay or not, you're really not listening to what he was teaching. And all this is also completely aside from the fact with whether or not he was actually divine and the Son of God, or he was just some bearded troublemaker with some interesting views about how we should treat other people. I know I went fast, but did you get all that? Okay? If you believe in God, also believe that he gave you a mind to use. So bloody well use it. So, in the words of the great prophet, be excellent to each other. Catch you next time. Oh, and just before I go, I want to share with you the story of the very last miracle Jesus ever performed.
From days of long ago, from uncharted regions of the universe, comes a legend. The legend of Jesus, defender of the universe.